I thank everybody for prioritizing this and being here, and I thank you in advance for just embracing what is about to happen.
Last August, Origin brought the team leaders to an FTX, a field training exercise. Leading it was JP Danil, former Navy SEAL who served under Jocko Willink in Ramadi, Iraq. At the height of the war, when the city was an al-Qaeda stronghold and considered the most dangerous place on earth. From those experiences, Jocko and fellow SEAL Leif Babin wrote Extreme Ownership, a book connecting the lessons of combat leadership to business and life. That book gave rise to Echelon Front, a company dedicated to helping organizations build stronger teams and achieve greater success. One of their most powerful training tools is the FTX, scenario-based battlefield missions where teams are challenged to solve problems, adapt under stress, and accomplish objectives together.
We've been talking about doing one for years.
What do you anticipate from this situation?
We're gonna whack some fools. I'm gonna take Terry, he's on my zombie apocalypse. I'm gonna take Bill and Libby, he's on my zombie apocalypse, and we will murder everybody. No, hopefully team building, leadership under stress, right? You've heard me say chess under stress is jiu-jitsu, right? And I think this is gonna be similar to that.
The very top of your rifle? I think a lot of people thought it was gonna be like a war game. And it's going to be one team against another. People out there with laser rifles trying to get the most points, murk the most people.
We're going to get above them, and we're going to squeeze them down. We're going to pinch these fuckers.
All right, run one. I'm going to put this up here on the board. OIC, Jason G. All right, run one. They got their intel. They're planning it out right now. And based off the intel I gave them, I said there's one entrance. There might be another one. And now they decided that they're gonna split their forces. Very first run.
I'm lost.
They've never worked together as a group. They don't have radios. They can't communicate.
So what we've planned is Unit 1 is going to go up, come in at 7, and go north to C.
I'm letting them because I'm not a part of this, right? I was their intel officer. Now I'm waiting to be their task unit commander. And so they're going to come up with this plan to split forces.
The only reason why we considered splitting it is because we feel like there's potentially an ambush coming in on that side.
So I'm going to ask them a bunch of earnest questions to hopefully allow them to see, oh, splitting forces is a bad idea. If there are enemy fighters in there, can you actually take safe shots? Now they're going to get frustrated because they're committed to their plan right now.
I think at this point, we're running out of time. And we don't have a chance. Yeah, we got to roll with it.
If it gets to the point where they want to continue to split forces, I'm going to actually just deny it and tell them to come up with a better plan, which they're going to wait till the very last minute to brief me, which means that they're going to be late getting to the armory, they're going to be late going out there, they're going to miss the window of meeting with this guy, and it's going to be a complete failure. Run one. All their taggers got turned off. Because we told them, hey, that's a process, but nobody checked the screen. His job is to only turn the key. It's all on them. What's wrong with guys' taggers?
Everybody's rifle is off. When he turned the key, everybody's rifle was off.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so your guys' guns were already on. Yeah.
And we turned them off.
Yeah, his job is just to turn the key, y'all. So it's on you to know the status of your equipment.
Where's the armor?
He left.
Okay.
Before we could even go out, we had to get all the weapons turned back on. So we're already behind the 8 ball. We've already lost a ton of time.
We're just out on patrol.
Why y'all got guns in our village over here?
Just for protection.
Protecting against what?
Anything we find.
What's that?
Anything we find.
The objective of this first mission was to meet the leader of this village and gather information that would help us on the next mission. And here's how it went down.
Get out of my village! What are you doing here? What are you gun at me? Stop! Wait, stop! You're putting your hands on me! Who are you pointing your gun at?
A lot of people go into this scenario pretty hot, and they'll actually escalate the scenario to more of like violence. And if they escalate the situation, we don't give them the information they need that will help them on the next scenario.
Why are you pointing a weapon at me? You don't belong here!
Well, higher ups want to know what's going on. You guys are getting mortared. You guys, the village elder, your guys' source just got killed.
Turned into a complete nightmare. Absolute nightmare.
Run away!
Higher ups need an answer, guys. I need an answer now. You have 2 minutes to give me an answer.
Go! Get out of here! Go!
Hey, should your AOIC be carrying the dead? Somebody carry the desk. Let the leader lead. Let's go.
Needless to say, we realized this wasn't laser tag with our fellow workmates. This was about relationships and communication.
Were they asking you legitimate questions? Hey, why are you guys here? Why do you guys have all these guns? What was that an opportunity for us to build? A relationship. We were doing that in Ramadi, and we started building relationships with people. When we're taking over their house, blowing loophole charges on the rooftop, we were still able to build relationships with people. Talking to them, asking earnest questions, listening to them, and having a back and forth conversation. And there was times we were getting ready to leave, and they would tell us, hey, please don't go down that alleyway. Like, that's a very dangerous alleyway.
It's an obvious concept, but not so easy when you add several moving parts and a lot of pressure.
So, Team 1's going to provide security. Watch out for enemies. Whatever team finds it, because if he's going to be with Team 2.
The next mission objective was to locate and dismantle a bomb.
What's the plan?
So, Team 1, Red is going to do security. Team 2, Red is going to find the bomb.
Okay, where's the bomb supposed to be?
Located in the north side vicinity of the barn.
After it's diffused, what's the pro word to head back?
RTV.
All right, let's go.
Contact right.
When you're in the moment, you're thinking about how am I performing and making sure that my team can perform. That's a lot of stress to bear, which is one of the points. As a leader in the team and in the company and whatever you do in your career, there are people relying on you to execute just like you rely on them to execute.
This time we were more focused, determined, covering and moving, communicating.
More 90 seconds away. He's down.
Until Dennis found himself taking on enemy fighters alone. He was out of sight and was put down.
What happened?
I got shot.
We have to move. Let's go now. Team 4 with me. We're going out last. Come back this way.
We had accomplished the mission successfully. We turned around, just assumed all the head counts were right.
Hey, higher ups want an update. Phil, what's going on? What's the word?
It appears, just by knowing our teammates, that there is one missing.
Who's missing?
Dennis.
Where was he last seen?
And we had made it back to base before anybody realized, like, hey, we don't have Dennis.
Where was he last seen? We need to figure this out.
I saw him by the boat.
All right. And we're gonna have to hopefully be able to go recover him on the next mission, but get everybody back to the barn right now.
All right.
30 seconds to get inside there. Let's go.
30 seconds to get back into base, Daddy. 30 seconds. Let's move.
Yeah, they left me behind.
Back at headquarters, it was unclear what happened. Phil thought it was friendly fire.
Let the record show that was a good plan. Okay? That was a good plan. I had confidence in the team.
You lost a man, Phil.
I lost a man. They shot each other.
He believed Hannah shot Dennis because she believed that too. Dennis says he was hit by the enemy.
This guy right here shot me.
Either way, the next mission was clear. Go back and retrieve Dennis, or whatever might be left of him.
The number one win is to recover Dennis and bring him home. We know we stirred the shit nest up there, and there's going to be enemy firing at us.
Oh, yeah.
We will be getting intel along the way. As we get that, we will communicate it. We're going to have Tom closest point to that intel, so as soon as he knows it, he can communicate to the teams.
We're going to go all together, all 4 fire teams. Once we get there, we're going to try to gain as much intel as we can.
The planning was good. Communication, good. Execution, good.
1, 2, 3, 4. We're good. GTFO.
Head count 3 good.
3 good.
3 good.
3's good.
Team 1.
It was all good until it wasn't.
We're getting lit up.
Down. I accepted poison ivy. Calm down. Who keeps shooting me?
Hey, I need a good head count. Let's go.
RT1, head count.
Let's go.
Good training.
Pete's prediction of chess under stress was dead on. We were forced to confront our flaws again and again.
You don't have a lot of time. Like, they give you less than 5 minutes to come up with something extremely complex.
It was humbling and motivating. Each run and its fumbles made us all determined not to make the same mistakes. And we did get better.
The difference is night and day between the first and the fifth that we did. The communication's way better. You know, everybody knows what they're doing on a team. They know what their role is. They know what slot they are in the line.
Team 4, cover.
We're able to call that out and communicate that.
I think this is going to strengthen the entire team, and it's going to be used across the board with a great outcome.
The biggest thing I took out of FTX was the concept of default aggressive. There was one part where we came back into the hangar. We thought the mission was over and we were still getting shot at while we were in the hangar. And I ran over and I was like, shit, just shut the door. And it was like 1,000 degrees in there and nobody wanted to close the door. And I was like, all right, well, I'm not leading this mission, so okay. And at the end, JP stopped us and he went over and he's like, guys, he's like, and he just presses the garage door button. He's like, how come nobody closed the door? One of the team was like, well, Justin said we should close the door. And he's like, yeah, cool. He's like, but saying isn't doing.
Saying and doing are two different things. Get down, drop your gear, let's do a debrief.
And that'll stick with me for a while.
The biggest takeaway from the FTX was how important crystal clear communication is, especially when time is of the essence, because they put you in very time-sensitive situations. If you don't have the ability to distill what is the important information I know and how do I share it with my team so that they can then further share that information, you are not going to succeed.
I think the absolute biggest takeaway is that this team is so damn capable. I don't think our culture would be what it is without this right behind me. Life is about learning and continuous improvement in leadership. It's never mastered, it's practiced every day. And it's through the practice of it, it's inescapable. It's like jiu-jitsu. That's why it's a lifetime pursuit. Jiu-jitsu is a lifetime pursuit. Building this business is a lifetime pursuit. Leadership is a lifetime pursuit. So JP, thanks. Appreciate you.